I'm Esmeralda Bach, and I will be your moderator for today. I have here with me our Council Key 3, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
Hi, they're all looking at me, so I'll go first. My name is Angelique Manette, and I am the Council Commissioner.
Hi, I'm Rich McCauley. I am the Council President.
Hi, I'm Ted Carnes. I'm the Scout Executive for the Council.
Thank you so much for introducing yourselves, as we are here today to give you an update of what's going on with our Rainbow Council, as well as answering any questions that people may have a need to have some answers to. So we're going to start something really easy. One question came in was, with other surrounding councils offering more than one merit badge a month, they were wondering if Rainbow Council has any thoughts or ideas of what offering more than one merit badge counselor for the year.
Sure, I can take that one. So this is a great idea. I absolutely think that we should have more merit badge workshops in our council. If you're not aware, all of our activities in Rainbow Council are run by volunteers. So that is not the responsibility of paid employees, it is the responsibility of volunteers. And there's a volunteer committee that meets every month, and they plan all of the activities for Rainbow Council. So that includes things like camporees and merit badge sessions and cub activities. So those are all planned by volunteers. And right now, we barely have enough volunteers on the activities committee to run those events. So I would love for us to offer those merit badge clinics, but we need some new people on our volunteer committee. So if you teach a merit badge, if you are a merit badge counselor and you are interested in hosting that for the council, then we can help you coordinate that on behalf of the council to have that, to be able to offer that to scouts. And that is something we absolutely would love to do, but we need some more volunteers to make it happen.
Speaking of activities, someone asked if there was any thoughts or plans for a fall family camp at RSR.
So we've had fall family camp in the past. It is our intention to continue that tradition of having that and offering that. It is just a matter of making sure that we have enough volunteers and the right volunteers to run it.
Speaking of programs, we hear that Cub Scouts is having a redo of their entire program. Can you enlighten us a little bit about that?
So are you going to ask them a question soon? Yeah, no, absolutely. So
your name's in the book.
Just so everybody understands, Council Commissioner, which is my role, is like customer service for Rainbow Council. So my job is to help all of the units and volunteers in the council be successful at delivering the program. So anything that has to do with like program questions or how do I do the thing that I need to do for my unit, that's my job and my team's job to help you. So the Cub Scout program does fall us educating you about the new Cub Scout program. And look what I have. Look what I have, advanced copies of some of the Cub Scout books.
Ooh.
So, spiffy. Yeah. So I even have the new Arrow of Light book, which is very cool because it has, I'm going to give you a sneak peek, right? Sneak peek. Look at that. The Scout rank of Scouts BSA is in the Arrow of Light book, but all of this is the Arrow of Light program. So, the new Cub Scout program is kicking off on June 1st. And it is completely different than it was in the past. So all the books are different, all the requirements are different, lots of things have changed. What the commissioners are going to do is we are going to host a webinar for you, kind of like what we're doing now, to go over all of the details of the new Cub Scout program. We were waiting a little bit until we had all of the details because they've been slowly kind of leaked out over the last couple months, but we're almost there. Now that we have the books, we're like pretty much there. So be watching for information on that. We'll invite every registered Cub leader to attend virtually, because we know you have kids and are busy, to attend virtually and learn all about the new Cub Scout program that's coming out so that you are equipped to start it with your Scouts on June 1st. quick note: if you have Arrow of Light Scouts, do not start on the new requirement on this current requirements until you get the new book and start these requirements, because they're a little different. But we'll talk more about that probably next month.
And I do believe that the books are available in the store now.
Exciting.
That's what I was going to ask, my
Yeah.
question.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Exciting things, exciting things. Well, let's shift gears a little bit so you don't feel like you're being asked all these questions. We had someone who was asking about how the council stands financially and if the youth activity fee has helped enough to kind of close that gap financially.
Well, that's an excellent question, and actually I was anticipating for a question like this to be asked. A lot of you may not realize or know, over the past 5 years, Rainbow Council has been operating on a negative budget, which is something that is not sustainable for us to do in the future. But I'm here very pleased to announce that this year, the first time in over 5 years, that we have a balanced budget. And that was the efforts of a lot of people in order to make this happen. We have a finance team that works very hard. We also have a fund development team that's also put in a lot of work to make this possible. The outlook for financially for Rainbow Council is looking bright, but cautiously. I'd be saying cautiously because there is a lot of challenges out there that we got to continue to go down this path in order to be financially sustainable.
I have something related to that. Do you want to tell them about the Merits of Scouting program?
The Merits of Scouting program, and that's actually been getting a lot of talk on social media and that. One aspect was was about merit badges. Are we going to be offering more merit badges? And I believe you can answer that part of that question, and I'll answer the second part.
Well, I did. Like, we just talked about how if we have volunteers, we can offer that. But this kind of goes hand in hand with that.
Yes. So that was one of the first people. People initially took it as, oh, we're going to be offering more merit badges. It's a possibility that can happen, but the merit badge program, the sponsor a merit badge, to keep it simple, is a very unique thing that Rainbow Council has developed. And this is a source of where we can get businesses outside our scouting community to come in to be partnerships with us to help support and take that financial burden off of the families and that. And we've gotten off to a really good start with this program. Ted, how many do we have in right now?
We're maybe around 50 right now.
50. The goal is to get a sponsor for every merit badge. Some of the merit badges we have now have, we'll say, repeat sponsors. We have a couple sort of first aid, which we're welcome to have more too, to sponsor. We can have as many sponsors for merit badge as possible. In the future, you're going to start seeing that who is sponsoring the merit badges and that. And we're going to ask you to help support those businesses, because these businesses are supporting our council, and it's a unique opportunity that we have now a lot of other councils saying, hey, what is this program? How can we do this program? So it's very exciting.
So if they wanted, if our volunteers who are listening right now have a business that would like to sponsor, or have a friend who has a business that would like to sponsor a merit badge, what would they need to do to start that process?
You can just contact the Council Service Center, and we'd be happy to talk to you through the process of how you register. And you don't have to be an expert in the area that you want to sponsor a merit badge in. We have an orthopedic surgeon that's sponsoring auto mechanics. So you can sponsor any merit badge you really are interested in. So.
Now, if they're interested, do they just come to the council office to get more information, or?
If you call here, we can talk through it with you.
Okay, awesome.
We can come out in the field and talk to you too. So.
Speaking financially, there's been some conversations and some issues about some wording from National when it comes to fundraising, because National says that they're not allowed to have anything, or troops or units are not allowed to have anything that resembles a lottery or a raffle for fundraising, yet lots of troops, as well as the council, has advertised pancake breakfast with raffle baskets, the council having the gun raffle, etc. So why is there an exception? And if there is an exception to that, why can't the troops have the same exemption?
So the first, I'll take that one. To start, I would encourage everyone to fill out a money earning application, because most units don't do that. And if you would fill that out, you would kind of see the steps of what's acceptable and what's not. What they really require for the reason raffles aren't really supposed to happen, or like tag days and that kind of thing, is the donation is supposed to equal the value of what you're getting in exchange. Now, I know there's a lot of talk about the council gun raffle. The council doesn't have the gun raffle. The tickets are printed up by other individuals, and they sell the tickets and then donate the money back to the council. The council doesn't buy the guns, they buy the guns, and that's the way that one works. But I would encourage you, we have a lot of units that get into trouble with fundraising. We have had to help units get out of financial trouble because they've done some bad fundraising. So really, if you fill out the fundraising forms, we'd be happy to help you and walk through what's right and wrong. So
Can I add to that? The unit money earning application is on the internet. You can ask commissioners for help to find it. If you're not sure where it is, it's on scouting.org. But it steps you through what's allowed and what's not allowed. And it's not because council is trying to like keep you from making money as a unit.
yeah.
There are things in there that are there because of insurance reasons. There are things that are in there because of tax reasons, that you can get in trouble with running a fundraiser that's not documented properly or like not gone through the proper channels. There are also things that have to do with laws in the area, that have to do with competing with council's got like popcorn agreements. There's contracts about we can't have other companies selling popcorn at the same time we are. So there are some things that we as the council will help you figure out, and we can't help you avoid getting into trouble with that unless you fill out that unit money earning app. Rarely is there a problem. If there is a problem, then we talk you through it, say, okay, we can't do this, but here are your other options. So it's in your best interest to fill out the unit money earning application, just so we can take a peek at it before it starts.
So it's very important that these forms are filled in and turned in a timely manner?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So in case if a unit actually does fill it out wrong, or if there's an issue, we can head it off at the pass before it gets any further
Yeah, even
damage?
if it's a company that we've done business with in the past and we know that it's not reparable, we could stop it before you start to invest money in the project, so.
Good to know. Good to know. So switching gears again, people have been noticing some activity over at camp with some repairs and some cleanups and things like that. Can you explain further on what's going on at camp?
Oh, yes, I can. I've been at camp once or twice. Now, very exciting what's happening at camp. And before speaking about some of the physical things is going on, there's a lot of work going on for this summer programs. And the camp staff is working hard on this year's program to make this year's summer better than it ever has been. And that's for the Scouts BSA program, the Webelos program, and the Cub Scout residency programs. And then it's also all our off-season programs. They're working very hard to make this a very successful year. Very excited about some of the projects that are happening at camp. I've mentioned before to you that you don't realize it, but camp is actually a small city that we own and operate. It has its own road system, it has its own water system, all electrical system. It actually has 3 lakes on the property, and it's well over 500 acres. And all that takes a lot to maintain, and there is a lot of people that have worked hard to do this. One of the first projects I'd like to talk to you about is the OA Legacy Patio, which is going to be a fixture in camp. And it's going right outside the camp office. That's the brown building as you pull into the parking lot at the far end. And it's going in the area what we call the quad, which I know a lot of you might not have heard that term before. The quad is the patio where there are sidewalks that go off to various locations in camp. One goes to the trading post, one goes to a brown building, which we call the first aid building, but most people don't know that, and one goes to the dining hall. And the concrete has been removed there, the trees have been cut down right there, and a brick patio with furniture is going to be there, and that's going to be a central meeting point and focal point of camp. And then just down the sidewalk there on the way to the trading post, about right after the trees, and there's a little field there right before the trading post, is going to be another patio, brick patio with a fire pit in, which we will believe that kids will be enjoying that for year-round usage. One of the exciting things about that is the funds that went to pay that program was from sponsoring a brick, where a lot of our volunteers or there were people that were in the scouting program before, bought a brick, and all those funds went to pay for it, so no funds from Rainbow Council went into that project. Some of you might know a building that's right by the climbing tower in the field that's called the activity shelter. You can always spot it because the roof looks like the ocean. It goes up and down and up and down. That was due to the fact that about 60 years ago when that building was constructed, the corner posts were sunk 3 foot into the ground. Over time, they rotted away to nothing, and the building actually sunk into the ground. To give you a kind of idea how much, from the high point to the low point is over 10 inches in difference. That building has been jacked up, it's been leveled, concrete forms have been poured and anchoring the corner posts, and it's in the process of putting back together. During that process, the electric had to be disconnected in order for the building to be moved, because you do not want to jack up a building with a live electric going to it. That gave us the opportunity to move the electric meter to a new location, and what happened is, before the climbing tower, the challenge course, the power went through the activity shelter. Now the whole tower and challenge area is on its own power, separate from the activity shelter, and it was also put in for future expansion. Those projects were also funded by private donors, and thank you to those private donors, because those projects wouldn't happen without it. So that's more projects that nothing is coming out of the council budget, yet a lot of progress has happened. The last project I'd like to talk to you about is a very exciting one. About 2 years ago, Ted and I were approached at summer camp by Troop 63, and they have a bunch of trade people in their unit, and they were like, "We love the camp so much that we want to give back. What can we do to help?" And they were looking around, they were like, "Well, there's this building that everybody says that's condemned. It was never condemned, but there's extensive repairs that had to happen in order for that building to be functional." And they took on the project, and they started it this fall. All funding for that building is all private sources too. So again, to put that building back into use, no council funds have been being used. And just to show you the extent of the project, about a third of the floor has been removed. And when I'm talking about removed, that means no floor joists, and all that had to be replaced, jacked up. It's going to have new doors, windows, siding, and it's going to be the first aid building, which it has been for, 40 some years in function before it had to be taken out of function, which will be a big asset to all our summer programs. It will not be done this year because of the extent of it and the time to put it together. I also mentioned that Troop 63 had people reach out to them when they saw they were working, and it has now helped them on the project. So we always need help at camp, and you might want to say, we love camp and we want to do something at camp. You don't have to be trade people in order to work at camp. We have various projects. Contact the Council Service Center, and then we will talk to you, and we'll get a project that can sit and suit your needs and what the camps are and what you can do, and something you can be proud of and build a legacy. One other thing that I'm going to announce for the first time publicly here that you don't know is that we may be putting in a solar field at camp. And you might be like, what? Whoa. And where's that going? If you drive into camp and you know where the totem poles are on the road, to the west of you there's kind of a farm field right there. Rainbow Council actually owns that farm field. that's where the possible location of the solar field will be. We have gone into agreement with a solar company where they're doing a study. That study will take 3 to 5 years. We're on the, hopefully that'll take about 3+ years. If they go through with it, it will make the camp sustainable. Right now, we operate the camp at a deficit. This will go to a long way to making that camp sustainable for not only for the generations now, but for future and future generations. So we're very excited about that, and we have high hopes that this will go through.
Do you want to talk about the nature center? It's almost ready to.
The nature center, well, the nature center is a work in progress right now, but there's been, it is available now to be able to rent out to units for camping, and we had to upgrade some things in the fire for the fire code to make it safe for people to sleep in there overnight. So
That was sponsored by the business Oxable. Oxable donated the materials and time and people to actually come in and make that usable again for us.
yes, and that's very exciting. And we have some plans to hope to make the nature center even better with nature trails and a lot of more interactives. A lot of plans for the nature center.
That sounds very, very exciting. I can't wait to see all the big, wonderful things that are happening at camp. Switching gears again, communication seems to be one of the biggest issues that people see a need. So to start with, one of the things is there someone whose sole job is to communicate with the bare minimum, the key 3 or district counselors when there are changes made by national and when there are issues that also affect the troops and council?
Ooh, I can take this one. All right, so communication is my jam, right? And I think communication is so important. So the answer to this is twofold, and it's a work in progress, and I'm very stoked about it. So we have a board member, and so the board is under Rich here. So we have a board member who has, for the past about a year, been working to create a comprehensive communications plan. And hopefully you'll notice that our social media pages are having some wonderful posts, and we've expanded, and we're now on Instagram. We're starting to have a really great newsletter, some great things. And that's because Cassandra Archer is our volunteer vice president of communications for the council. So she has a communications plan, a comprehensive communications plan that she is growing. And it is growing piece by piece, because right now she has a very small committee and it's a work in progress, but she's doing a great job. The other component to communications has to do with commissioner service. So like I said before, commissioners are your customer service for council. So it is the commissioner's job also to make sure that units are informed of things that are changing in the council or with the programs or with national. We are, again, a work in progress, and one of the avenues is Roundtable, and I'm sure we have some questions about Roundtable, which I'll get into in a minute. Also, commissioners, you can reach out to myself or any of the other commissioners in the council to help get that information out. We're also feeding things into the newsletter, and we have some other tricks up our sleeve that are going to be happening later this year to hopefully improve it, because I do recognize that things aren't always getting quick enough to the people that need it. And that is one of my personal goals for commissioner service this year, is to really help strengthen that relationship between us and the unit, so that you have all of the information that you need to really get that good program going for the kids.
And how can units help with this communication for you to be able to disseminate some of this communication to the units?
Sure. So one thing for sure is to make sure that you're checking your email for the newsletter that goes out, because there's a lot of good content there. But commissioners, there aren't enough commissioners to go around to every unit. I'll be completely honest. We have not enough commissioners for every unit to have a commissioner. If you don't have a unit commissioner, then you default to the district commissioners or the council commissioner or assistant council commissioners. You can ask us questions. You can ask us, you can email us, you can call us, you can text us, and we'll help you with find what information you need. If there's a suggestion that you have, like, we're open ears. Feedback is a good thing. Feedback is a gift. You let us know what you need and how you're best to be able to reach, and we'll work with you to make sure that you have the information you need.
So Angelique mentioned earlier that the commissioners are customer service. They are the source to go and ask questions to. Ask them the questions. So you're like, I do not know what's going on in that. Ask commissioner.
Yeah, the staff here at the office are spread thin, and their focus is absolutely on things like budget and membership, starting new units. And when you have program questions, that's a commissioner question. When you have questions about the new Cub Scout program, that comes to the commissioners. We'll help you with that, and we'll get you answers a lot quicker.
What about the units that don't get the emails or don't go on Facebook or refuse to go onto any specific council group Facebook pages?
So we are updating the website. We are now running 3 websites simultaneously. We have the current one, and we have a backup of that, and we are testing a new website, which is more user-friendly. And as soon as we're done with the tests and adding some more information, we're going to roll that out probably in the next couple weeks. So.
Awesome. Thank you. The other questions that we have to do with membership. We have some units that have been trying to recruit, and they say that the recruitment they're trying to do doesn't work for them, as well as any possibilities of starting Cub Scout units, specifically in areas that are very troop heavy versus Cub Scout heavy.
So you want to talk about Charlie first?
So we have kind of restructured the staff a little bit. We have a district executive that now is just focusing on Cub Scout growth. And so that's his primary focus. We've targeted communities that we know are underserved. For example, Bolingbrook has 1 pack and many troops. So we know that that's an area we're going to focus on adding more packs. So that we know that's an issue. We do need help. So if you'd like to help grow new units, please contact us. We can always use more help. So.
And then membership. Do you want to talk about this, Melissa?
Well, why don't you talk about your price and then I'll bring
Got
it
it.
back.
Okay. So commissioner service, customer service, right? If you're having trouble with membership, if your unit is shrinking or you're not having success running events, or you're maybe a troop that's not connecting with a pack, those are all things commissioners can come help you with. We'll give you the resources that already exist. We'll connect you with other people, other units who are doing it well, and so you can learn from them. That is something to reach out to us, and we will connect you. We will also connect you with our Vice President of Membership, who Rich is going to talk about.
And that is Melissa. And a lot of you know Melissa. She's been in charge of our membership for a couple of years now. Membership is a key for not only your unit, but also the council to be sustainable and grow. Our membership has been shrinking. We are half the size that we were 5 years ago. And that's startling right now. But we're here honest to let you know that this is where we are right now. And it's up to every unit to help recruit and recruit people. Don't be satisfied that we have a couple people and that's how we can run our unit. You should be able to try to give every person that wants to be in the scouting program an opportunity to be in that program. And when there is more of us, we are strong. And I think this is the time to talk a little bit. I'm going to talk to you a little about a strategic plan. Our council is developing a strategic plan. And this is how we are going to go and have our plan in place for the next 3 to 5 years. We have goals, we have focus, we have a vision. I kind of said that out of the order in that. I know some of your wood badgers out there said, whoa, what's going on there? Shame. But we have our vision, then we have our focuses, and then we got how we were going to achieve it. The whole strategic plan is built on 6 pillars that we are working on right now. 2 of the, we'll say, corner pillars are going to be financing and membership. And the focus is, and we're so focused on membership, Ted mentioned that we have a DE that his prime goal is developing the Cub Scout program. But just don't think that you're in the Cub Scouts and we're in the Scout BSA. We do not have to develop. It's also up to you. It's not like it was before. The Cub Scouts came to you. Guess what? We're down in Cub Scouts. You need to go out and get those Cub Scouts and develop your units. So this is something that is all of us' problem, and we're a team to work with you. If you need help and assistance, always contact us. We will help you. But it's also internally going to be up to you. We will assist you what you can, guide you, but if this is something that we all are in, and we're in this together. We need to grow in order to be sustainable for the future, your kids' that we are here.
Yeah, Scouts BSA units in particular, I sent out a survey last year, and 3/4 of the Scouts BSA units, you're relying on Cub Scouts to cross over to your troops, and that's not enough anymore to keep your troops sustainable. There has to be a plan that's beyond that to help grow your unit, and part of that is also going and helping the Cub Scouts units be successful. So if you're a troop and you're not having adults and scouts regularly visit the Cub Pack that's in your area and helping them, then maybe that's something you need to consider. If you're not having different types of recruiting events that are beyond AOL activities, then we need to talk as a commissioner to unit leader to make sure that you have a plan in place so that you're successful and you're still growing your unit.
And if you think about it, COVID really had an impact on Cub Scouts. We didn't recruit Cub Scouts for almost 3 years.
Yeah.
And we're starting to see that impact on Scouts BSA. If you're counting on those kids crossing into your Scout troops, they're not there. So it's going to take all of us to correct this. So we all have to get out there and start to support Cub Scouts and recruit Cub Scouts.
Thank you. Speaking of areas and territories and stuff, someone was wondering how come the youth in the upper left corner of Will County is not part of Rainbow Council, and in turn, why is there 2 districts and why aren't we not running as one? They mentioned it more as an OA versus the council, but I think both need to be addressed.
So I can answer, they're specifically talking about Crete, I believe. Crete is part of Will County, but originally when the council lines were drawn, school district lines played a big key part of that, and Crete went into what was the old Calumet Council, and it's now part of PTAC. We did talk to PTAC about reuniting all of Will County a number of years ago, and those units at that time were not interested in joining us. So.
What about the 2 districts in our council?
You want to talk about the 2 districts?
Yeah, the 2 districts in our council, we've been operating as a council, but basically for the last, I don't know, what do you want to say, 7, 8 years, basically, even though we've been having, we called, the Ishkoti district and the Wapelanasso district, and there was district meetings going on, but everything was done at a council level. All the programming is done at a council level, all the fundraising is done at the council level, and we've been talking about how all the teams here at Rainbow Council and probably in your units need help, and it just made sense that we are now one district. That's what we are. We are district or one council, as you might want to say. So we are operating that now. There are no more 2 districts. We are one district, but basically we are Rainbow Council District, or we are Rainbow Council. And the OA, which the Order of the Arrow, which is the National Honor Society of Scouting, we like throwing acronyms around, and I know a lot of you don't know what's the OA. What are you talking about? The OA is designed for youth in the Scouts BSA program or the venturing program, and there's requirements to get in there. You have to be first class. You have to have a number of nights camping, including a long-term one. There's a couple other requirements. They have to be voted in by their fellow youth, and it's an organization that is dedicated to service. It has been called the National Honor Society of Scouting, and the OA has 2 chapters, and it was based on the 2 districts. But the youth run that program. It's a youth-led, youth-run program, and the youth, as for this point in time, want to keep the 2 districts. In 2 districts which are called chapters in the OA. In the future, they may want to consider it as one, but it's not up to what the adults want, it's up to the youth want.
And I think it's good the way it is right now because it gives more youth leadership opportunities. If you cut it in half, less youth are going to be leaders, and I think it's positive to have 2 right now. So.
Okay. Definitely need some of that leadership training for the youth, right? Speaking of training, some people were asking if there, other than Wood Badge, which is what they see a lot of, what other training opportunities does Rainbow Council offer? Because they notice that in PTAG they get a lot of information out of there, but not Rainbow Council.
I would love to take this one. So,
It's all yours.
all right. So training. I have to be very careful what I'm saying right now because our council training chair is also the person operating the camera right now. So he's literally right behind. Council training. We have a full array of council training opportunities for you. They are all on the council calendar on the website right now. They are all there open for everyone to see. And I know that they're working on right now getting the dates for next year so you can plan 2025 as well. But 2024 is there. There is everything on the calendar that you need to be position trained. So every training that you need to take in person, we offer here in Rainbow Council. It is available to you. The other thing to note is that we have some things that other councils do not have on the calendar. So we do have some Leave No Trace offerings that really we're one of the only councils in the whole territory that offers it. We have people come from several states away to come attend those. So those things are pushed out regularly on social media and in the newsletter, and they're available on the calendar. If there is another way that you think would be effective for us to reach you to make sure that you know that those are available, please let us know because we need to know if you're not seeing it, how we can reach you best. The other thing to talk about, and I don't want to forget, is that just like activities, training is all led by volunteers. It is completely volunteer driven. So everyone teaching all of the training in our council is a volunteer. If there is something that you don't think is being offered often enough, or if there is something that you would like to see that we're not offering, which would be a challenge because I think we're offering most everything, you are very much welcome to come to the training committee meetings and pitch your hat in. It doesn't mean you have to run an entire event. Could mean you help co-teach something, could mean you help teach a module of something, but the more volunteers we have, the more often we can run the training and the less likely we are to burn one person out from running all the trainings. So did I get council training chart, Kevin? Did I get it? I got it. All right.
You didn't get cut off.
I didn't get cut off, so we got it right.
So some people think that Roundtable is part and someone wanted to know if Roundtable will be made available again for viewing, and why not just stream it directly on Facebook or YouTube, just like Scouting Magazine.
All right. So Roundtable is actually run by that person who was just talking over there, right? So do you want to answer some of those? Go for it.
I can answer that. And I'm just pretty much going to repeat the same thing that has been repeated throughout this past 45 minutes, is that we are run by volunteers, and we would love to stream it and make it available as quickly as possible. But right now it is run by 2 people, me being one of them. So we are always looking for someone to help us out with the live streaming, putting it on YouTube, checking the chatter, finding locations. Currently, we are doing every other month. We're doing 1 month virtually, 1 month in person. But the problem with the in person is that we need people to kind of like be our host. And right now, we're currently going from one end to the council to the other, and we're bringing Roundtable to you. So if your unit or your chartered organization is willing to host us, please let me know, and we will be glad to bring Roundtable to you. And right now, last month was in person, so that means April. So March was in person. April will be virtual, and those dates are also on the council calendar. It's it's the second Thursday of every month. It has not changed in years. So just keep that in mind, that the second Thursday of every month is a roundtable, whether it's virtually or in person. We take June and July off because everybody's at camp and getting ready for summer camp. So we're always looking for people.
And then one thing I think I'll add is that Roundtable is part of Commissioner Service. And as Commissioner Service, we hear you that maybe you're not hearing things soon enough to where the event is. And I hear you. We'll make sure that we get things out on the calendar sooner and out on social media sooner. And they should be in multiple places, so no matter which place you check, it's all the same. So I do hear you on that, and we are working on it.
One quick question is on Scout Life magazine. They want to know, is it optional or required?
It's optional.
And if it's optional, is there a way for families that have like 2 or 3 copies coming to the house to just getting one?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely,
on your.
yeah.
It's on your unit. It's on your unit leader. Whoever is doing the recharter, they just turn a button on or off when they're
Save
doing
the
it.
trees, yeah.
And I think so. Our renewal, our individual renewal, so recharter and renewal are together. Membership are together. We're taking recharter of the unit and membership next year. National has pulled them apart. So you will have the option to renew yourself. And instead of being as a full unit, although your unit will still have the option to just do everybody themselves. Anyway, we'll get to that. That's a conversation for another day. But I believe at that time when you're doing it, you yourself will now have the option whether or not to opt in or out for Scout Life magazine.
Well, it seems like that's all the questions I have. Do you have any last remarks?
Both looking at me. I think
I'll have the last remark.
it would be really helpful to just remind everybody what each of us does for the council. So I spoke about my role as customer service. Do you want to explain what you two? So the key 3.
Are you questioning what we're doing?
Yes, totally.
No, that's a very good question, Angelique. I said, I'm the council president, and a lot of you said, okay, so what does the council president do? I oversee the council executive board and all the operations for council. Our executive board, which is growing, and we brought in some key people, very excited this year about the new blood we're bringing on to the executive board. They set the goals for our council to help you achieve and help your units achieve all what you can do. I'm very excited about this coming year. I have a very positive outlook for our council. That's because of not only what the board is contributing, that's meeting all the unit leaders and that, talking to them and what they're doing in the program and putting into the program. And I have a very high and optimistic outlook that together all of us can do this and work to make our council the best that it can become, and that we are here providing for the future. And a lot of us always think about what we are right now, but we got to think about the future. How do we get there? How do we make this sustainable, that our kids are in this program, our kids' kids are in this program, because it's a fantastic program that works. And I know, Ted, if you have any final remarks.
Well, I basically run the day-to-day operation of the council. What I do on a typical day, I have no idea. Every day is different. This morning I woke up to the alarm going off because someone broke into the building through the roof.
You may want to explain that one.
That's true. They're restoring part of our building, and the builders didn't realize that there was an alarm in the building, and they came through the roof. So
By design, by the
design,
way.
yes. So, but my day's different every day. I have the opportunity to meet with a lot of volunteers, a lot of corporations to actually try and bring them into scouting, and I get to see a lot of what our youth do, and I don't know, I've got a great job because I can see the end product too. So you see the kids coming through Cub Scouts all the way through the end of the program. So it's a great job. It's different every day. There's been some challenges, but like Rich, I think I see light at the end of the tunnel, and things are getting very good. And I think this is going to be a really good year for all of us. So
Yeah, I do agree. And behalf of the Key 3 here, I'll speak. We want to thank all our volunteers out there. You make Rainbow Council what it is. Without your hard work and dedication, there is no program. So thank you.
Well, thank you for taking the time to answer our questions and letting us know what's going on in our council. And I'm sure I can say this, is that you guys have all an open door policy. If we ever have any questions further down the line, something that maybe popped in during this session, that you guys will be available to answer these questions.
Absolutely.
yeah.
Okay. Well, that's it for tonight. If you have any questions, you can always reach us in any form, whether it's email, a phone call to the council office, Facebook page, Instagram. Pick your source of how you want to communicate with us. We will try to find the answers for you. With that being said, have a good evening.